Hi, my name is Catherine. I am in group 44 with Lily, which is Billy Buri. We've been working together on the nutritional database system, and I'll be doing slides 16 to 31. So basically part B of the presentation. She lives all the way in Houston, and we didn't know how to merge a video, so we decided to do part A and part B and post the links. And so I will start with slide 16. So I'll just go ahead and change the scene here. Okay. Alrighty, so I'll push this all the way to the side. That way it does not interrupt. Okay, perfect. So slide 16 starts with a right join query. So basically what we're trying to do here is we're trying to join the customer table together with the post-workout table. So we use a right join in this instance. So the post-workout table will be the right table, and the customer table will be the left table. So what basically a right join does is it selects data from the right table and matches it to the rows from the left table. And in most instances, the right join always returns results in the right table, whether or not they have a matching row in the left table. So as you can see here, the link between the post-workout table and the customer table is our customer ID. So that's what we use the two tables to join. And then we said, hey, workout table join, customer table join to the post-workout table using the customer ID, and then display the first name and the last name on the customer table. And so we have
now connected to iPhone.
So that's what we see as a display here. And so once you run the code, you get this information at the bottom. And as you can see on slide 17, when we run the query, it's a right here, it's a positive. I'll just look at the studio just to make sure that we're recording. Yes, we're still recording. Yeah. So that when you run the query, it works, and MySQL is able to access. That's why you see the green highlights here. So we'll go to the next query, which is the union query. So basically what the union query does, it combines the results of two or more select statements. So in this case, we're saying, hey, select customer ID from customer table, and also join it with the with the waterlog table, and from the waterlog table pull out the water type. So what a union query does is it will join distinct data from both tables. So it removes any duplicates. So in this case, in our database, we had 22 customers, but now when you run the code, I don't think you'll be able to see it here though. Hopefully, yes, you see it. So when you run the code, it gives you 24 rows. Why is because the reason why it gives you 24 rows is because here, for example, let's see. So right here, as you can see, when you run the code, it adds in the two types of water types. We only have two types. We have the flavored and you have the pure. So it will take all the distinct customer ID, which are 22, and then add this 2 here to make 24 rows. So that's what a union basically does. Just takes the distinct values or rows from each table and displays them. So next one we'll go to stored procedure. A stored procedure is a SQL code that can be saved so that the code can be reused over and over again. And search procedures are stored in the database data dictionary. So in this case, what we said is, hey, create a procedure called all clients. This is how we're going to start. Select all from this customer end. So as you can see, the part that's highlighted yellow, it shows that we've already created the procedure, and MySQL is able to store that procedure as all clients. So when you run the code, basically when you call for the procedure, so in this case we use call all clients, and then you're able to run the code and display. It's gonna run all. It should give you all the information in the customer table, because that's how we programmed it to do. This is quite a simple procedure. It's for I believe it's companies, when companies do something that is so repetitive, like it could whatever function they'd be using on MySQL. So instead of maybe having to write the code over and over, you just form a procedure, and anytime you want to use a procedure, say call this procedure, and so it's really efficient. You don't have to rerun the code over and over again. So in this case, our procedure was just easy. Hey, call. For this procedure, we wanted to just display all the information in the customer table. And so when you call the procedure, it should display all that information in the customer table. When you run the code in this specific procedure, it should be here, sorry, 21. So when you say call all procedures, it's a positive, so that means the code actually works. And so we have a called function. So basically what a stored function does is it stores a program that returns a single value. In most cases, this is used in a business. It would be used when we have like a specific set of parameters within the business. So for example, in ours, we're saying, hey, create a function called age group. And so this age group will have voucher aid. So when from the place where it says begin, we start to declare the parameters in which the age group is set. So here we're saying age group, if the age is, for this function called age group, if the age is greater than 26, then set that age group to be old. If else if basically is greater than 27, less than 27, set the age group to be young, and then end of the whole statement. So what we're saying is, hey, for age group is going to use the row age. So for any age that's above 26, the age group will be termed as low. For any age that's above 27, so anything that's above 27 is old. Anything less than 27 is young. So that's what the stored function says. So for example, if we call a person who's in age group 27, they are termed as old. If we call, for example, someone who's age 15, they'll be termed as young. The age group they will be in is young. So that's what this does. It's just to sets boundaries, or it's more like also like a grouping. It sets parameters or groups information into different classes. And so when you look at the output, in this instance, 23 should be 23. So here it shows when we created the age group, it's stored under the function and section in the on the menu bar, and then so when we called age group 27, the code was able to work, and here's the output right here. And so the query or the code in this instance is able to work. So the next one we have is a view query. So what happens in our view is you wanna pull information from a table or different types of table and see it in one place. So that's what a view statement does. So just when you want to look at information from different places in one place. So for example, here, we wanted to see low carb. And so the low carb view is basically for customers who have a calorie intake less than 1,300. So instead of us just having to rerun the code all the time, we would just say, hey, we want to see people who have a low carb intake, and so we just view low carb. And so the statement goes like, create view low carb, select customer ID, calories from diet, and the calories have to be less than 1,300. So like you can see the highlighted region, it shows that we already created the low carb. View. You cannot redo it, so that's why it was in highlight. Once we created it, you cannot recreate it, so we just wrote the code, and then here is a place. Let's view. Sorry. So the only way we could do this view, the only way we could prove that our code works is we did the select all from low carb. So when we select all from low carb, it gives us this. Only 4 customers had a calorie intake of 1,300. So only, as you can see, there's nothing above 1,300. So if a low carb view did not work, there is no way MySQL will be able to select from low carb. And so when we select all from low carb, you can see it's positive right here. The code was able to be, MySQL was able to execute the code. Okay, and so that's the end of the queries that we have. So now we move on to the difficulties and challenges that we faced as a team. So one of them, number one, was lack of communication, like one-on-one communication, in the sense of she lives all the way in Houston, I'm all the way in Denton, so we didn't really get that face-to-face value communication. So that was kind of like a bit difficult. Also, like we have very different schedules when it comes to work and everything else around us. So you'd find sometimes she works late at night, and I don't work so late, or sometimes it's vice versa. So that was a little bit hectic. And then the other one was this for both of us. It was really our first time taking a SQL class, or even coming across SQL. So it was really hard for us to kind of like figure out what to do, what not to do. And so that definitely was something. It was a challenge in that aspect. We've definitely we've never come across SQL, and so even using Workbench was a bit of a task for us because we didn't know where to go, what to do. But we found some videos on YouTube that were kind of helpful, and so at least, yeah, as much as that was a challenge, I think we did pretty good. The other thing was, MySQL is really sensitive to, like, if you miss a punctuation mark here or there, the code it seems proper or like good, but like it's really hard. Like we would rack our brains around, like, what are we missing? The code looks good, but it's like, dang, the only thing we're missing is a punctuation mark. So in that aspect, it was kind of frustrating. Yeah, lastly, definitely balancing our day-to-day activities. That was also something else because she works full-time, I work full-time. We have a lot going on in our lives, so just taking the time, because taking the time every week to do this work was a lot for us, but I think we did good. We did our assignments on time. We tried to communicate as much as we could. But yeah, the project was a lot. The class in general was also a lot of work, especially for a beginner. But I think so far we've done so good. So the benefits. So we're in the aspects of the benefits to this nutritional database is it really brings forth health awareness. People are able to keep track of their nutrition intake, their exercise routine and stuff like that. Definitely this is able to increase life expectancy and lower diseases. Because if you're tracking what you're eating, you tend to eat more healthy foods. If you're tracking your exercise routine, you tend to exercise more or work on areas that need more work. So I feel like this would be a very useful nutritional database system in general, and like it's not suited for just a particular age group. I think everybody needs to use this in this day and age to keep track of what they're eating, how they're exercising, what they're putting in their bodies. So how much water they're taking, because that's really, really beneficial for all age groups and age sets. And so what have I learned in this course? We wrote an aspect to both of us. So we both learned that definitely how to work my SQL workbench. The different queries, we were there researching together, exchanging ideas, like, hey, do this, oh no, do not do that. So I think it was a learning curve for both of us. Really a lot of studying. I feel like we are definitely, especially from the practice questions that you would give us in general. Even doing this project on its own, we had to come up with a database. We had to come up with the questions. You had to figure out how to run the queries. So I think that was definitely something we learned. We really, in terms of information, we took a lot of information from this class that is useful in the outside world, in the business world, and I do appreciate that. What else? Definitely we learned new material, new queries, how to work different queries. Definitely we did learn from all the assignments. Yes, how to be more effective using while communicating using technology. That's something definitely we learned. Different softwares, we, video calls, video conferencing and stuff like that, screen sharing. We got to really learn that. And so yeah, I kind of know from this class I've taken, I think both of us have, definitely not just me, but like we have both gotten to use technology more. So you don't have to be in the same city, same area to work together. You can always find a way. Technology has made this world a global village. So that's definitely that. Time management, yes. This was a lot. It would probably, some of the times it would take more than 6 hours for me to do my assignments. And so setting aside, we both work Monday to Friday. So setting aside just 6 hours in between here and there was a lot, because this is not the only class we're taking. And so it really, definitely time management was something we learned in this class. Definitely getting more knowledge on MySQL, new application, variety of coding and errors. Yes, definitely. And I know what not to do in MySQL, where to put the punctuation marks. Yes, that's definitely something we learned. Other than that, I feel like the project was a definitely learning opportunity. I've never done anything like this, but definitely now where I was where both of us were in the beginning of the class is not where we are right now when it comes to MySQL. And so it's been really helpful in learning this MySQL information. So the conclusion as to this project, this was more of a database, consumer database, in the sense of it was keeping track of personal health, nutrition, exercise, and water intake. So our database was mostly geared to how to help people have a better and healthy lifestyle. So because this will help in prevention of diseases, this will help in life expectancy. People can, that life expectancy nowadays is really low. Obesity is really high within the country. So this will help, this database will help tackle those things. So therefore, tracking what goes into your body is really important and help improve health in general and extend life expectancy. This is the goal of our nutritional database. And so I think we were able to achieve that goal, or at least for the most part we did. And I think this project works really well. And yeah, that is the conclusion that we have so far. So thank you so much for this opportunity. So I'll just move over to here. So I just want to say thank you so much, Professor, for this very hard but educating exercise, that stroke project, and the presentation, and also the work, the class homeworks that you've been giving us. Really, thank you. It was a lot, but it was definitely a learning curve. We really learned a lot, and so thank you so much, and all the best. All right, bye-bye.